Hello, 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 hello. It is Monday. Why is it Monday? No, it's not Monday. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It is another day, another stream, of course. Today we're gonna do what we've done yesterday. Well, what we've done over the few days of this week. We began Monday by creating the base mesh, or the sort of blocking out the armor pieces, the first layer of the armor pieces for our character, for the what do you call it, like the the action figurine sculpt that we're working on right now. We finished the chest plate yesterday, so today we're going to go to the pants. We're going to begin with the pants, and we're going to go to the next pieces basically. Welcome back, Hustler. Hope you enjoyed your Wednesday, not Monday, but Wednesday. Yeah, we're gonna do that. That's gonna be the second topic. First topic, as always, the quick sketch, 30 minutes to warm up, and then let's get back straight into the pants. I started a little bit, not too much, just kind of testing out how to set everything up in terms of how I want to start basically. So yeah. Today we're gonna do the pants. The pants shouldn't take too long because they're quite simple. So we will probably then go to the undershirt, which is also pretty simple. So then the only really complex pieces that are still missing are the gloves and the boots. Boots should also not be that hard. So the only, well, yeah, I think the chest plate overall is the hardest part about the first layer. The next part would then be retopology, and then posing, and then creating the next, like the second last layer. So yeah, we're gonna begin with the quick sketch. If you only want to see the leather armor modeling, you should see timestamps in the description on YouTube in the VOD. If you're watching this live, of course you can't skip forward in time. But yeah, let's begin with the quick sketch. There you go. Today we have an interesting fella that we're gonna sculpt. I wanted for quite a while now to sculpt some sort of like Cthulhu-esque creature or character. So that's what we have here. Sort of, this, yeah, basically like a, I don't know, like a skeleton with some tentacles coming out of it. With this hood, we're not going to do much more than just the, maybe up to the shoulders. We don't have that much time anyway. So yeah, we're going to do that. And then we're going to go back to the pants. So without further ado, we can go straight into the quick sketch. Hold on. There you go. That's perfect. I think everything is set up so we can begin. Images there. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's not really that much to set up. So I think we can begin with the quick sketch so we can have as much time as possible with the clothing. Yeah, I would say we can begin the quick sketch in 3, 2, 1, go. There you go. Perfect. Okay. So as always, we're beginning with 20 resolution. I tried 50 before, maybe just to kind of see how much more, I guess, oh, I hate when that happens. How much more sort of control you have over the shapes of the character. It definitely helps, but it's not really fluent enough. Maybe 20 isn't really the best, I guess you could say, like resolution to sculpt with. But so far I use 20 quite a lot now, and I'm sticking with 20. Maybe like 30, 35 could be better. It's still, smooth, but you can also just have a little bit more control over your sculpt. Maybe not, maybe 20 is the best. Maybe we'll try that. Maybe we'll cycle through some different values throughout the next quick sketches. We'll see. Because, if you have a little bit more control over your edges, for example, with the with your brushes while you're sculpting, of course, you will get better results. And with low resolution, that can be quite hard sometimes. Okay. Oh. There you go. Make a simple skull. We don't even need to really do this, because at the end it's not really going to be visible that much. I'm just kind of trying to sculpt a general skull, and then we're going to put a hood on top of it later. Give him nice cheekbones here. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, I think we can finish the first layer this week. The pieces, as we said before, aren't as complex as the chest piece. And then you know, the next step would be retopology, which shouldn't take super long, so I can probably do that over the weekend, hopefully, maybe, we'll see. And then afterwards we can go straight into the next layer, because if I retopologize it, I will probably also rig it. At least that's my plan. My plans can always change. But yeah, so the we will definitely finish the first layer this week. And you know, then afterwards it all just comes down to the next pieces, which are more detailed probably. Also, there are more of them, so the next layer may take a little bit longer. We'll see. Maybe we can even sculpt or model most of them. We don't even have to sculpt them. We'll see. Okay, we need a nose hole. There you go. Okay, so the skull looks okay. We can probably go to the next step, which is the hood. So I'm gonna just, I guess, make a quick mask where the hood needs to be, or where I'm gonna pull out the hood from. Probably from over here. We don't really see any of this, so we can just grab it from there, and then we can pull it out. We have to be careful with the hood that we don't basically. Actually, should we grab it from there? No, we can actually probably just add more volume to this. Actually, we can grab the mask. We can use the mask then anyway. So I'm gonna grab it. Maybe add some more here. There you go. And then invert and use the inflate brush. Where are you? There you are. There you go, not too much. I'm just gonna try to create the silhouette for the hood. There you go. Now we can pull it forward. I'm not gonna pull it forward by pulling it forward. I'm just gonna sculpt more in the front so that I can then pull it forward when it's further away from the skull. The problem, of course, is here that if we sort of create a very small gap between the skull and the hood, it'll be hard to really sculpt between the two. So to be, you know, just only affect one instead of the other, and always working with mask can also be quite annoying. So I try to stick with something, or try to use a way where I try to shape the shapes in a way where I can still work with ease, let's say. There you go. So now that this skull kind of gets sharper, or it goes lower, we can now just go in here and use a good old mask and pull out the hood. Mask's best friend, true. The mask, the savior in every situation. Can never have enough masks. There you go. We need front faces only. Oh no, not if we use the snakehook brush. Otherwise it doesn't work. There you go. I think that's pretty cool. Perfect. That's a good beginning. Let's go in here and kind of refine the edge here. Shouldn't take too long. There you go. We can then maybe even go in here. We need to now use front faces only, just to kind of make this sharper here in the middle. Actually, do we need to? Maybe we can just pull it up a little bit. Like this. Okay. There you go. Give it some thickness here. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Have you been practicing? Hustler, have you done some more characters? Maybe some stylized characters? Or have you been busy with other stuff? Or maybe you don't want you're not interested in 3D anymore. Could always be the case. I remember I once had like a 3-month break from 3D overall from Blender, just because I think I kind of fell into the trap of when, you know, I didn't do it for quite a while, so that it didn't become like it wasn't the habit anymore. And I think once that happens, it's hard to get back there. Of course, it's easy, you know, you can easily do it again, but it takes a little bit of effort to get there again. So that's why I had like a 3-month break, not doing anything in 3D. I think I also was kind of slightly maybe demotivated, because I don't even know, just I don't even know why. I think I just wanted to play games. That's probably the biggest reason. "10-hour shifts? Oh no. Come home too tired to do anything." Yeah. That sounds pretty bad. I remember once I had to like finish a project, or we had to finish a project because the client was pushing, or was urging us to finish it. And because of a unforeseen circumstance, let's say, we had to do way more work than we originally were supposed to, and the only person that was able to do the work was me. So I had to basically work through the weekend. I think I worked on it on Saturday and Sunday, probably like even like another 8 hours, which was super annoying. And then, you know, and yeah, just absolutely, and like, you know, it's never cool to work when you're supposed to have like your free time, of course. And yeah, I basically like swore, maybe not swore, but kind of said to myself, if this happens again, maybe in the next year or so, I'm probably not gonna stay there, because, you know, this shouldn't be like a reoccurring thing. Shouldn't be that frequent that it happens again, like in within a year. So far it didn't, and it's, I think, over a year now, so, you know, it's probably like a very rare occurrence, so, you know, didn't really expect for it to happen again. But I was very annoyed when it happened, because, you know, when you have to, you know, what is it, like when you have to solve another person's problem, or a problem that another person caused, then it's always annoying to do that, especially when you don't know the person. I work retail, I have to deal with it. What kind of... Yeah. Once or twice per day, not to mention all people that can't use smartphones and they come to us for basic stuff. Yep. You know what the worst part about that stuff is? It gets tiring, and when you get home, you just want to empty your mind and press buttons in games. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. It's... You know what the most annoying part about old people and giving them advice on tech stuff is? That's why I kind of always, you know, that's why I say when my mom asks, dude, can you, you know, not dude, but, you know, can you help me with my phone or whatever? I sort of started saying, well, do it yourself so you can do it next time as well, you know, kind of learn how it works, so I don't have to do it every time. Because when it's always like when you teach, for example, either your grandparents, my dad tried to teach my grandparents how to use the remote, which was so, you know, they got a new like router, so they had to, not router, but the whatever TV box, they got a new one, so he had to explain how the remote worked. And my grandparents are like super tech, the opposite of tech savvy, let's say. So they don't want to deal with it at all. And you know, trying to teach those people anything about technology, you know, you can probably imagine how that works. Not at all. So every time, you know, we got to them for the next weeks, or well, you know, every time we visited them, they were always like, oh, can you explain me this? Or, oh, the TV doesn't work. Then you plug in the TV again, or you just press on and off and it works again. And it's like, you know, I learned using a remote, I learned using my phone, I learned using anything that is like my PC, I learned everything like that just by using it, testing stuff out, and seeing what works and what doesn't. And it seems like people that didn't grow up with technology, it seems like just don't, like, they're scared to just do something. Like, oh no, if I press the wrong button, I'm gonna buy three subscriptions to something I can't cancel, and I'm gonna pay $300 per month or whatever. It's like they don't want to even try something, or they're just not interested at all in it, which is so weird to me because they use it every day. So how can you not be interested in solving a problem yourself? Why do you say, well, I have a technical problem. My grandchildren are gonna come in 3 months. I'm gonna let them do that, or I'm just gonna ignore the problem. It's like, what? And then you explain it to them, and they act like, their behavior always makes me kind of not mad. Well, sort of, because they ask you a question, but it's not really a question. It's just an ask for you to do something for them. It's not, can you explain me how this works? It is more, can you do this for me? And it's like, well, I can also explain it to you and you can understand it so you can do it yourself, you know? And it's always like, nah, you know, their behavior always tells me like, nah, I don't want to do that. I just want to use it. I don't want to understand it. You know, it's like super annoying. It never helps. As much as you want to teach them, they don't care, can't learn, or some are just sadistic little gremlins that would rather bother you than do it themselves. Romania is an ex-communist country, or all people are used with being strict, being told what to do and other stuff. I don't want to seem mean, but from experience, a lot of them are close-minded. Yeah. I think when it comes to technology, there are either the parents or the old people that joined with technology, that are kind of interested in it and they learned about it, or there are the others are basically just, well, you know, I'm 60, I don't need this anymore, I'm gonna probably live for another 20 years, but you know, technology, no, who needs technology? I'm never gonna use it, you know. Why would I use a you know, they just underestimate how fast everything evolves now, which is sort of understandable. But at some point, you know, you have to, you know, I don't know. It's just like, it seems like this sort of mindset where, well, I'm not gonna live for long anymore, so why would I learn anything new? Which is like so weird to me. But I guess that's just a different mindset. Maybe I'll understand it when I'm 70. But every time I want to, you know, every time I use something, I always want to know how it works, so that when I have any problems, or when I don't know, or yeah, when I have any problems, I can solve them myself. I don't have to ask someone all the time. But maybe some people are just different. How have you been? Only managed to see snippets of the past stream and stuff. Seems to be coming together neatly. Yeah, so I don't know if you were here the last streams or yesterday when I said how I'm gonna change the stream topics or what we do on stream. It's not a big change, it's just a small change for me to make it like, what I basically want to do is I want to work on the stream projects off stream as well, so that usually we only have like 3 hours or so, or it basically, because I didn't do it before, it kind of hindered what I thought I could do on stream. And I want to do some more elaborate projects on stream as well, which would take like super long if I would do them only on stream, because we only have like 2 to 3 hours per day to work on, like 4 days a week to work on that stuff, which is just not enough for some projects. For example, like the figurine. So decided to also work on these projects off stream a little bit, and then if there are different, if there are projects that I want to explain, we can still do them maybe either again, or we can talk about them how I did it, for example. Because I think, I think not doing anything off stream, or at least, basically not working on a project off stream, kind of holds back what you can do on stream. And I kind of want to change that. That's basically all. But so far, the figurine comes together quite well. The only big step that I'm kind of scared about is the rigging part. I haven't done that many rigs before. Well, only one really. So I'm kind of, scared that it doesn't work that well. But I think with the pose that I chose, it should still look pretty good. It's not like a huge pose, so it's not super complex. It's basically just moving the limbs a little bit. You can even, if it works pretty well, we could even animate the character, which would be pretty cool. But we'll see about that. If you work on stuff off screen, you can still record it. And yeah, that's my thought as well. I can still record it, and I can still cover it without it needing to be online. And it's also, I think, more interesting if on stream we do different topics. We do different topics more often, rather than, we're gonna, for the next 4 weeks we're gonna work on the same project. I think it'll just be more engaging than doing that. I think it can be interesting to see a full process, but I think if it's always going to be a full process rather than like a fun project, like a small one, for example, it can be quite maybe tiring, or you don't really always want to see these huge projects. So I think a mix between the two is good. And if you can do even more because you have more time off screen, then of course you can do even more elaborate stuff. The running rig. What is? Oh, I could work on that as well. Yeah. I want to finish the figurine first. I think I want to put more focus on that because I want to make a first of all, I just wanted to see how that turns out, and then I also want to make a video about it, how I did it, basically. Going through, basically what I want to do, I watched some Jan Sculpt videos, and he kind of inspired me to do something similar what he does with his characters, but with something more realistic characters that have some more detail, because for him it's mostly more about maybe, I think what I'm missing with his videos is the aspect of like creating like the, first of all, more detail, adding more detail to the characters. I think is kind of missing, or I would love to have some more detail in the characters. He of course has a stylized style, so I'm not expecting him to do more in that regard, but maybe even giving the characters a pose that is similar to how they would pose. I think most of them that he does are more, they're just, basically standing there, similar to like an Overwatch victory pose, rather than, well, not really. They're just like a diorama, I guess you could say. No, I don't know what I want to say. They're more like just showcases of the character. They're not really like put into a pose. Sometimes they are, but I think most of them are quite tame when it comes to like the pose overall. When you compare that to, for example, action figures, sometimes you can see how they're like in this fighting pose, like having a sword there and then about to I don't know, slam their hammer or whatever. That's what I'm kind of missing with his work. And I wanted to do something. First, I wanted to do like a first try, just creating a character with a light pose, and then maybe afterwards doing another one with a more extreme pose. Because I also wanted to try creating a character like this, not in the workflow that we do now, but rather in a workflow where we work with asymmetry from the beginning. You can still work with asymmetry while using symmetry. Sped up videos are the best. Being sped up lets you see the workflow faster, and if you want to break it down, you can slow it down. And yeah, I want to do that some more as well. I think there's a lot of potential with. I don't think I utilize the stuff that I do on stream enough when it comes to turning that into videos. Maybe I need to dial down the expectations that I have a little bit, or I need to broaden my spectrum, because I think sometimes I think about, well, you could do this, but then I don't, the more I go into a video, the more I have like elaborate ideas, and I really want to like execute them, and that kind of, if I got it, for example, last week. That's why this week there's no video. Last week I basically had an idea for like a quick explanation video, like the one about how to create realistic characters in 4 minutes. I'm gonna have a new video next week about probably next week about most likely 80%, let's say, about how to, or what is basically like a 101 about retopology in the same style, probably explained in 5 minutes, going over why and how, and some smaller details, some tips. And I began with that piece, or I began working on the video on Saturday, and then the idea became, I think the first idea was basically just make a small explanation video about how I retopologize, but then it turned into this. And of course, if you make even if it's just a 4-minute video, making a more highly edited video with like, I don't know, graphs and different videos and different explanation graphs or whatever, it'll just take more, like, longer. So I just couldn't finish it this week, also because my grandparents came all of a sudden because my parents invited them, which also halted my progress there. Yeah, so that's why there was nothing this week. I meant about what you said earlier. You said you only made the one rig before. Was asking. Oh yeah, the Greg was the first and only rig that I ever created. I tried actually using the meta rig before on Greg, but what I was frustrated by is, first of all, I wanted to have a very flexible rig, and that led me to the meta rig. I think is good for small poses, but if it's like super supposed to be super flexible, I think it's hard to set up because you have to know how the rig is set up. It has multiple layers of bones, so they're basically like 3 different skeletons on top of each other that you have to fine tune together to create good deformations and good like weight distributions, let's say, which is super hard to do. First of all, if you're learning rigging for the first time, and then also first of all, just understanding the rig, so I just decided to do one myself. Yeah, and I think it came out pretty good. But, I've only done one so far, and I think I learned a lot doing it, but I also want to learn more about it. Because, you might solve most problems with the first one you do, but you run into more complex ones with the second, third, and fourth project, or, basically project that you do for a certain topic. So I just want to do a few more. These characters are just poses. They're not in an environment. I probably make a small environment, maybe where the character could stand on. I'm not planning to do, hold on. So I have 2 different ones. That's what I mean. So his characters are more like this. See this, like an amiibo, but with less dynamic, with a less dynamic pose. And then you have this, where the character is actually like, it's more, I think it's called like a diorama, where you have like a environment cut out and then being put as a statue, like being like built as a statue. I want to do something more like this. Maybe not for the first character. Maybe I can make a model for the ground or something, but. I don't want to go full ham with the with the first try. Welcome Ty 98. Hope you hope you had a great Wednesday. I think so. For sculpting, I think ZBrush is better. I haven't tried it, but I think from what I've seen so far, ZBrush is better. But that doesn't mean that Blender is bad or something. It's just, I think ZBrush, because it can handle so many more vertices, you can overall be a little bit more free, or the ZBrush enables you to work more freely with the sculpting, like when you're sculpting. So it's just easier to use. But there are some add-ons, there are some things you can do to make Blender more sculpting friendly, and it's not like that sculpting is bad. It improves it more and more and more. So if you're not like super, I guess you could say, super like say sculpting buff, then you can still use Blender. It's not like Blender is like super bad for sculpting. It's just like you can feel the difference between a program that focuses on. Hold on, is the music too loud? No, okay. You can feel the difference between the two programs. One is fully focused on sculpting, and the other one is fully focused on, or more focused on giving you a full experience, a full 3D modeling experience, rather than just sculpting. So sculpting is just one part. You know, you can't really create shaders in ZBrush, or like elaborate shaders, procedural shaders in Blender. I mean, ZBrush. Most popular sculptors on YouTube are those with stylized stuff because it looks pretty and that's what people want to see. You're most analytically detailed, so it's not. I think, I don't think that's it. I think it's more that stylized stuff. I don't think stylization is more popular. I think it is that like the I don't want to say, well, okay. I would say stylized stuff is easier in the sense that because you don't have the detail aspect, you well, basically because they're stylized, because you don't have to think about the I think you get the perception of that detailed or stylized characters are more popular because there are more stylized character artists. But I think there are more stylized character artists because stylized characters are simpler to create. That's what I wanted to say. I'm not saying that they're easy. I'm saying that they're simpler to create. You still have to know anatomy and all that stuff, but you cannot tell me that this monkey right there is takes as long as like a stylized character, for example. With the, like, if you would stylize the monkey. That's what you want to create too? Yeah. I think I want to go some more in that direction as well. I thought about another project. Actually, no, I don't want to talk about that yet. I still have to think about that a lot. ZBrush is a brush, Blender is a Swiss knife. Yeah, exactly. Oh, we're already over the time. Okay, perfect. Look at him. Isn't he beautiful? Okay. I feel like I say that too much when I do these. Okay. Yeah. No matter what style you draw in, for example, Isle of Dogs or Fantastic Mr. Fox, they are very stylized, rough, but they have appeal and just work. I think there's a difference between stylized and yeah, there are different qualities of stylization, and you can see, for example, even in like fan art, you can distinguish a more professional stylized character from a more, no, maybe not amateur, but more hobby stylized character, just even from how their lines flow, their line work, their anatomy, their composition and all that stuff. And yeah, you know, how often have you heard, like when Gamescom is or something, like when there's like a Gamescom stream, and then you see people in chat saying, oh no, not another stylized game. I want to have some, you know, realistic graphics. I don't want to have this stylized stuff. You know, Fortnite, oh no, so horrible, looks so bad, you know. I don't think that stylized stuff is necessarily more popular. But I think it's there's more stylized content on YouTube. There you go. Look at him. Okay. That's why I made the video. That's why I made the video how to make realistic realistic 3D characters in Blender in 4 minutes, because I don't know, I haven't seen something like this before. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but I haven't seen it before. Okay. Well, we should probably save. And the good thing about these figurines is that you're never gonna run out of like characters to sculpt, you know? You can always go to some new popular anime, you can always go to some new popular TV show, Disney movie or whatever. You don't even have to recreate the character. You can even say, well, how would a character look like in real life, for example, stuff like that. Yeah. Wait, what did I want to do again? Oh, save the quick sketch. There you go. Quick sketch day 2 1 2. The only thing that I really love about ZBrush, or one function that I envy in ZBrush that I would love to be possible in Blender, would be very smooth vertex paint. You can see, just because ZBrush has so many vertices it can process, you can have so smooth colors, and you can have so many small details in a character that isn't really that possible in Blender. That's the only real thing that I'm kind of envious about, because you don't have to work, you know, you don't need texture thin. You don't need to unwrap your character. You don't need to like retopologize your character if you can just you know, use the vertex paint. Welcome back, David. Hope you had a good Wednesday. Maybe your Monday has been great. Maybe your Tuesday has been great. Maybe your Wednesday has been even greater. I hope that's the case. Does it smoothly, but he has to unwrap? What do you mean? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he has to unwrap, exactly. But if you unwrap, then you don't use vertex paint anymore. You don't need unwrapping in vertex paint. Vertex paint applies a color to the vertices. So he uses textures as well. And setting up textures can be so much more work, you know. ZBrush is a little bit more fluent in that regard. Okay. ZBrush is more like real life clay sculpting. I've seen a video before, or I've found a channel that basically creates these figurines with clay, and he goes through the entire process, building the skeleton, building the character, and all that stuff. And then he also paints afterwards. And you can basically recreate the entire process in ZBrush. You sculpt first, you create the skeleton, then you sculpt the character, and then once you have the character, you can go into with a digital brush, I guess, and paint over it and create some nice colors. I think in Blender that's a little bit harder. especially because if you have too many vertices and then you go into vertex paint, Blender just lags out. Okay. What do we need? Oh, there you go. Can't you use vertex paint node for texturing? Do you mean can you use vertex paint to create a texture? The problem is, if that's what you mean, you still need to lay out the geometry of the 3D model in a 2D space. Otherwise, Blender doesn't know how to like place the color that you've put onto the vertices. Okay. Too much talking. Okay. Yeah, you can render with vertex paint. That's what I mean. The problem is you're tied. Vertex paint is tied, or the smoothness of the vertex paint is tied to the amount of vertices. The more vertices you have, the smoother or the more detailed your vertex paint can be. And if Blender can't handle that many vertices compared to ZBrush, then you can't have that like super smooth textures without having to retopologize the piece. I actually got myself some kind of polymer clay. When it hardened, it turns into something a bit like a dense foam that I wanted to paint. Okay, sounds interesting. We had some back in the day when I was younger. We had this this sort of clay. I don't know what it was called, but it's this sort of clay. Like it's similar to clay. It's just a little bit harder. It's more like what is that called again? Hold on, let me look that up real quick. Plain? What? Dough? No, that doesn't make sense. It's called plain? Hold on. Like, doesn't make sense. There you go. This stuff. Hold on. Yeah, Play-Doh, exactly. Stuff like, it's similar to Play-Doh. And when you put it in the oven and heat it up for like 20 minutes or so, it gets super hard. So you can create these statues, for example, with the Play-Doh-esque like bunch of like whatever it is, and then you can put it in the oven and it's basically like clay. It gets hard at the end. Oh, ominous lighting coming from up top. Not even lighting up his eyes. There you go. Okay. We need the material. I wonder if vertex paint is going to be in geometry node, so it can be used in combination with the modifier. Well, I don't think you need vertex paint in geometry nodes. Well, you could maybe assign some colors to the base mesh, like the mesh that you work off of. But other than that, once you use subdivisions, you don't have the original geometry anymore. Or, well, you still have it, but the new vertices don't get affected by the color. Well, they take the color that were there before, but you can't assign new colors to the new vertices. That's the problem. There it is. Hopefully, maybe. Nope, it's the wrong one, of course. Whatever, I'm drunk. Welcome. Hope you had a good Wednesday. Welcome. Hope you're not too drunk to enjoy your Wednesday. Of course, it could be that when you're drunk, you enjoy your Wednesday more. Some people are like that, I guess. There you go. Look at him. He's stylized, see? Do you like him more now? Okay. Let's do a quick render. Yeah, perfect. There you go. We already spent too much time on this. This should have been done 15 minutes ago. But I like the character. I think it's a cool concept. Like an old Cthulhu that lost all his power and now is roaming the woods to find some innocent souls or whatever. Oh, nope. How about 2? Yeah, nice. Okay. I actually want to bring the camera a little bit closer to the dude. How about this? That's probably better. Okay. You know what? So at work I got the task to create basically like a Google Slides Google Slides Google Slides presentation preset, so that when anybody in our agency creates a Google Slides presentation, it's first of all faster to do it, it's easier to do it, and they all look the same. And the funny thing is, you can, for example, put in stuff like placeholders, like image placeholders or text placeholders. The problem is, which is a genius move from Google, is if you put them in the scene, you of course have different layers for the different like graphic pieces of like stuff that you have in the scene in the slide. Like you have you have a circle, you have a cube, or a I don't know, like triangle. And you can basically say which one's above the other by using different layers. You can say, okay, well, the triangle is in front of the cube right now. I want to have, or the circle, I want to have the triangle behind the circle. Then you say, well, the triangle should go behind it. And then it's behind it. The problem is, if you use placeholders will always be on top of anything else. So if you try to create a design where you have placeholder text, well, you have placeholder image in the background, then you have placeholder text on top of the image, and then you have smaller graphical stuff around it, so you can, you know, detail it out some more, give it some more magic. You don't see the magic because the placeholders jump in front of everything else. So basically all the plans that we had for the master slides or basically don't work. So I'm trying to figure out how you can still kind of, I don't know, figure out to do it or create a reduced version or a different variation of our design so that it works. But I don't think there's any hope. The problem is we can't even use PowerPoint for it because PowerPoint has the same problem. It's so dumb. Why would you make placeholders just for them to then jump in front of everything else? Why? Why? Well, it makes no sense. It's so stupid. And the best thing is, you look up the problem on the internet. Here's the story about every problem in PowerPoint. You see a problem. Well, the placeholders always jump in front of everything else. Okay, let me see if there's a solution. Maybe I'm missing something. Okay, you Google the program. You see a Microsoft PowerPoint forum entry. It's the same question basically. You go into it. It says, well, yeah, here I have the problem. It explains the exact same problem that you have. Then you go lower. You go to the first answer. It's not going to be a Microsoft employee or whatever who works there on that side. It's going to be another comment that says, well, the problem has been there for years. It's not going to be fixed. And then you go up again. You look at the forum entry date when it's been set, and it's been like 10 years or so. So I don't know. Every problem that you ever encountered, PowerPoint is basically there forever because they're not going to fix it anytime soon. So you just have to accept, or you have to work around them. It's so dumb. It's so frustrating. Thank God I'm not the person that got the PowerPoint projects in our agency. There's another poor soul that had to take over that work. It's such a trash program. I think if there would be, oh, welcome, Marcin. Didn't even see that you complimented him. Hope you enjoyed your Wednesday. Welcome back. Yeah, it's so dumb. I think if there would be like another company that would create a good presentation alternative, that would maybe even Adobe. Adobe could create something that would have the exact same UI layout and basically functions that Photoshop or Illustrator or any other Adobe program has, just for presentations, and it would be infinitely better than slides or whatever. I haven't really looked into why that problem could be there, why slides or why placeholders always jump in front of everything else, but it just doesn't make any sense. So, you know, why? It's like, it seems like Microsoft just put out PowerPoint 20 years ago and then just said, well, there you go. We can't fix it now. It's like all these old games that got shipped as CDs, but then never got fixed because they couldn't fix them. Because how would you fix them? Because you had to, I don't know, send all buyers another CD. Okay. Enough ranting, okay? We need to go to some professional Photoshop work, okay? Post-processing. Hold on. Where are you? Wait, where did I save the image? Oh, there it is. Oh, I saved I saved the blend file in a different file. I mean, a folder. There you go. Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. There you go. Look at him. Okay, let's finish him off. Put the grays a little bit lower so we have some more depth in the image. He's not too bright. Perfect. Okay. We need a texture and then we're done. So we can go back to the clothing. There you go. So I think today my my time estimations for all the for the pieces for the clothing have been pretty bad so far. But if I would have to predict again, I think we can finish the pants today and then we can go maybe even to the boots. Or no, we're gonna do the boots today as well, or we're gonna begin sculpting the boots. I don't think we're gonna work on the pants too long. Maybe 1 or 1.5 hours, maybe 2. There you go. Oh, hold on, that was too far. Where am I? There you go. Wait, there you go. Okay. Hi, welcome Ahmed. Are you working for a project or it's just for practice? This one, this is just a quick sketch. That's what we do every stream. The first 30 minutes or first hour, basically, we create a 30-minute quick sketch. The project that we currently work on is, well, all projects that I work on are just, you know, there's no, like, it's just all hobby, basically. I don't have any professional work that I do in 3D when it comes to what I do on stream. Everything you see on stream is just hobby. Okay. Let me open up what we're gonna work with today. There it is. You can see I've fine-tuned the pants a little bit You can see it here. I've kind of refined the seams. That's what we're going to continue. You can see the seams are quite big, so we don't need to do that much. Maybe we could even sculpt in some folds where there should be some. And then we can go to the shoes. That's going to be the plan for today. You can see, if you look at this, the pants are quite simple. You can see these sort of ribbons or whatever they're supposed to be. Maybe some sort of, I don't know, knives. I think they're, I don't know. I'm going to add them later. I don't think we need to sculpt them into the pants. I think it works better if they're a separate object. Yeah, we're going to work on the pants today. The boots look very big right now, like clown boots, just because they're so rough right now. Okay. Before we continue with this, I'm going to upload the quick sketch, and then we're going to begin. While I upload the quick sketch, you're going to see the good old compilation for 3 minutes, and then we're going to begin. Yesterday we sculpted this. Wait, this. There you go. That was yesterday and the day before. We figured out how to use textures for these buttons, for example. We created a button, and we also used curves for these sort of floral patterns. And yeah, we kind of refined some edges here and there. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to upload the image. You're going to see a 3-minute compilation, and then we're going to begin with the pants. Hope you're ready. I'm going to see you in 3 minutes. Enjoy the compilation. Perfect. Okay, here we are back at it again, continue the work on our character. Yesterday we finished the chest plate. Today we will work on the pants and hopefully the Yeah, the pants are quite simple. You can see they don't have that much going on. You can see some seams. You can see some bands, I think, that you can see there. Oh, hold on. I think no, never mind. I thought these bands would be there to kind of hold these. I don't even know what they're supposed to be in place, but I don't think that's the case. We have some more references, or like in my pure ref scene, in my reference scene, that you cannot see, but I can show them to you for a second. There you go. Hold on. There you go. Okay. So this one is, I think, will be more useful for the pants than it was for the chest plate, just because you can't see the chest plate. So yeah, you can see the general layout is pretty simple. You have these sort of underpanned sort of piece here in the middle, and then you have these big shapes for the rest. You can also see, for example, in this one, that there's a little bit of skin visible. That's why I cut holes into the pants that you can see now. See, just Boolean. We're going to detail that out as well. And the what is it called? The kneecaps. The knee pads are not part of the actual pants. They're actually a separate part. So we're going to add those later. Yeah, the pants are pretty simple. So how about we continue work on them? I don't even think we need that much detail here. I started with 50 and it works quite well. You can see here. What I basically just do here is I use the clay strips brush to lay out some more structure. There's actually one thing I wanted to try. Although, no, I think I want to just use the clay strips brush. One thing we could try though is we could mask out the shape that we want to add, so that we don't overdraw it, I guess, or over sculpt it. So if we sculpt over the seam, basically, we can preserve the seam while working on the rest. There you go. We're gonna draw out the first shape here. You can see there isn't that much detail here, which is a problem. So I'm just gonna use the power of dynamic topology, setting the brush strength to 0, so I can just add more geometry without adding more volume. There you go. If I smooth it, you can see it's smoother now. We do the same all around, and then we can use the shape. I'm going to do that for everything. We can probably just even use detail flood fill. It basically does the same. It just adds 50 resolution to the entire sculpt. This way we already have it everywhere, and then we can just, work with that. Takes a little bit. There it is. Okay. Okay. Maybe we shouldn't do that. I don't think we need detail flood fill. The problem with detail flood fill is it kind of negates the effect of or it kind of negates the use of dynamic topology. Dynamic topology is used for stuff where you want to add more resolution in a certain area. But if you use detail flood fill, you add more resolution to the entire sculpt. The problem with that is as you've seen down here in the tries counter, it went from 600,000 to 1.7 million. And we don't really need more geometry on the inside, so I decided to just remove it, because we don't need an unnecessary amount of geometry in the middle, for example, or in the pants on the inside. So why would you use detail flood fill? So I'm just kind of trying to give the seams some more resolution so we can mask them out. We could even use different face masks. The problem with that is that once we use dynamic topology again, the face masks basically get deleted. Okay, we can now work with the upper part of the pants. So let's sort of draw out the mask. Draw out the seams. There you go. Oh, that's quite. There you go. Okay. Good thing is, because we already have a a base mesh, we basically only have to follow the basic structure of it. If you set up the basic structure in the beginning, you can focus more easily on the details because the basic structure is already there. So even once we go into a more detailed phase, I say it another time, we can focus more easily on them. Sorry, staying on too much time in the stream yesterday, like go away. I mean, welcome back first of all. Hoe creador sin importancia. Hope it wasn't too bad when it was dark, when it went dark. You don't need to apologize for not being here. You decide what you want to do with your time, and if you want to spend it here, then I appreciate that. I don't expect you to be here, okay? This is not a classroom. You have enough work to do in your real life class, it seems, with your games, so I don't want to give you even more. Hope everything's been going well there. No more problems. So now that we have secured the seams almost, we can go to here, to this piece, and sculpt out the piece there. Okay. Let's do it. Let's create the sort of leather pad, piece of leather that would be here. There you go. We try to keep a seam between the pieces, just because if you, for example, look at real clothing, you will never find clothing that has no seam lines. And for the pants, you can see where they are. They're here, going all the way down. And yeah, pants or basically any clothing is basically just two-dimensional fabric that then has been sewn together into a three-dimensional object, similar to UV unwrapping. And just adding seams to a sculpt, to a cloth sculpt, adds so much more detail to it. So never forget, seams are important. So I'm not only trying to sort of create a good seam, I also try to... Oh, hold on. Oh, there, it ends here, okay. I try to sort of create the border for this piece, and then at the end I'm going to smooth everything out and finish this piece. Okay. I try to separate the crotch from the leg pieces. So I need to be pretty careful here because it's such a small area. There you go. You can see it in the reference here, how the seams are quite big. I think I want to keep that in here as well. Maybe not that big because it's the game model, and game models to kind of sometimes show some detail that make some details bigger than they maybe need to be. So we'll probably make them a little bit less big, less obvious, but I still want to keep them there. Okay. So one thing we need to kind of solve here is the problem of the base mesh basically being too bulky. If you have less resolution, you can't really create very fine, thin fabric or thin clothing just because you don't have enough resolution. And when we created the base mesh, of course, we didn't have enough resolution. So we now basically go ahead and now with 50 resolution, we can now basically adjust the thickness of the fabric. So we have to be careful not to add too much volume. Maybe we even remove some volume once we kind of refined the structure here. Try to remove this sort of rough geometry, the rough geometry structure that you can see sometimes here. Make it smoother, and I also try to create some very sharp edges here. We're going to refine those edges later. I want to first establish the different pieces basically. I actually don't think, how was your day? My day was pretty good. Nothing special, nothing crazy happening. Pretty easy. So, yep, you know, just working on, working at work and then working at this off stream a little bit, kind of refining the pans a little bit, looking at how we're going to do it on stream. A regular day. That's how I like it. I'm not really someone that needs to have I don't know. I think I'm really someone that that loves routines. I don't really, you know, if I know what I'm going to do the next day, then I'm happy. I don't need to have a new challenge every day. Doesn't mean that I don't like learning, but I think that's different. Okay, so we can also, of course, use the crease brush to kind of enhance these seam lines here. Let's do the crotch now. So for the crotch, it's actually pretty interesting. For this piece here, or for the in-game character, you can see this sort of triangle shape, which sort of seems as if it's like a flap that hangs in front of the crotch, that covers the rest. But if you look at the other reference that we have here, you can see this looks more like actual pants. It's like this piece that covers your crotch entirely. It goes around the body to the back. It looks like this, like Speedos, basically. I think I rather want to use this reference for the pants than the in-game model, as I said before. So we're gonna use this middle piece and we will continue it. Oh, we have to be careful here not to go too far out. There you go. We don't even need to add more geometry. Maybe we can just add a seam. One thing you can do to make it easier, you can just remove one side using the good old box selection tool. There you go. Oh, hold on. You can... Wait, does that even work? Let's see. So if you remove symmetry, and then you use the box selection tool, you select one set of, one leg. You then say sculpt, hide masked. Now you can only see the other side. And hopefully, if we now enable mirror again, and we do some changes here, we will also apply those changes to the other side. We'll see. Let's see. So if we do some changes here, let's sculpt a smiley face so we can actually see some obvious changes here. There you go. Let's see if those changes actually apply to the other side as well. So if you bring it back now with sculpt, show all. Nope. Okay, I guess that doesn't work then. Well, okay, then we have to just work in these small... Oh, there's another thing we can do. We can also just remove everything down here, so we can go closer. No, the legs aren't in the way. Okay. There you go. Look at that. Now we have hot pants. Creating a nice seam. Maybe it's not going to be very visible in the end. So I'm not trying to spend too much time on it. Just, you know, small details can help in the end. A little small attention of detail can always like boost the sculpt when it comes to its quality. There you go. Then we continue the seam right here. Oh, I'm going too far out. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, the back part will not really be very visible just because we have a cloak in the back. But you know, doesn't hurt to detail it out a little bit. There you go. 3D now, we have to make even the smallest wrinkle of the cloth until it looks more real than our cloth 3D before. Let's make this 8-sided cube and the one that is a robotic leg. Look at that quality. Wait, hold on. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Before it was, yeah, I know what you mean. Good old days of 3D when everybody was a noob. Okay. Yeah, so let's go back to the... No, we can work on this side first. So I actually think we don't even need to use the clay strips necessarily to detail everything or to go over the entire piece here. I think we could just go in here like this and draw out the seams. That could be easier. Like this. There you go, go all the way around. I want to have a belt, or he has 2 belts in the end. I also want to have this sort of, like, you know how jeans end where you put your belt in, these sort of lashes? I want to add that to this as well. Maybe not the lashes, but at least the shape of it. So back here, we would, oh, first let me refine this. There you go. Quite wobbly. That's okay. We could use curves to make it smoother, but I don't think we need that here. We could also use the lazy brush or whatever it's called, stabilized brush. There you go, and then we go into the middle. Nope, not like that. There you go. And then up here we have the belt piece. That circle that goes around the entire thing. Smooth out. There you go. Okay. Let's increase the strength of the crease brush to make it easier to draw it out. Afterwards, we're going to use the... This might actually be too deep, but I'm going to add it anyway. There you go. We can fix it. Like this, for example. We can make these seams way thinner a little bit later. Once we use the actual hard surface modeling tools, like fill and scrape. There you go, okay. Oh. That was horrible. Yeah, so the plan will be to add the individual pieces, the seams first, and then afterwards we will go into refining the seams, and then in the end we will go into modeling some wrinkles. So this piece I don't think has enough geometry right now, so we're just going to add a little bit here. This is also basically supposed to be a piece of cloth, like another layer underneath the pants. If you look at the reference here, you can see this is pretty smooth, pretty shiny, and then this is quite rough. As you can see, it's pretty pixely, but I think I would interpret it as a second piece of fabric underneath the leathery fabric on top, or the leather on top. So we actually need to remove some geometry here. It's too much. So that we don't even need a like a good seam here. What I want to do to do that is I'm just going to select everything here. And then I'm going to pull it down with a simple tool. We're not going to inflate it, we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to deflate it, if that's the right word. So we're going to select the entire thing here. There you go. Perfect. Flawless selection. Never seen before anything better. There you go. And then we invert it. Invert it. And then we go into the mesh filter and we use inflate. We can then like apply it and swipe left or right to either inflate or deflate. Use it negatively or positively. So we can either go to the right to inflate it, or we can go to the left to bring it further down. Probably to over there. That looks pretty good. Now it's deeper. We can maybe go a little bit deeper even. There you go. That's pretty good. I like it. And then, oh, I actually want to keep the mask because I want to smooth it. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Then I want to separate the pieces a little bit more. We can also do that with the scrape brush tool, but I think if we kind of do some prep work with the crease brush, it's a little bit easier. A little bit more exact, basically. There you go. Smooth everything out, especially on the seams where we created these sort of wobbly patches. Oh. Wait, do I have front faces only on? Okay. We have to make sure that we don't go to the opposite side. That we don't breach the wall. There you go. Perfect. And then see how it's now deeper compared to the rest here. The layer is below. Perfect. And then I think we can leave it there for now. We can work on it a little bit later. Perfect. Exactly. It is literally flawless. There you go. Oh, that's quite far off. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Okay, let's bring back the rest of the pants again, because now we go into the bottom part. The back looks pretty good, I think. Yeah. So now we can... It looks kind of like some sort of diapers. I think I want to change it, but I don't know what I want to change it to be honest. Maybe we can make it wider. I think we should make them more like boxer briefs. Although, do I have some references from the back? I don't think so. That's the problem. Let me just look at boxer briefs real quick. How they're cut. Okay. There it is, the back. Oh, the back doesn't even have a seam. That's interesting. Do we need a cut in the back? Do we need one? Do we need one? I don't think so. What if we remove this? I'm kind of curious what that would look like. Hold on. So if we basically just connect it to this seam here on the side, right here, if we end it there, like this. Let me see what that looks like. I think that's better. It doesn't look like like panties anymore, or like diapers. I think that's better. We could maybe create some two seams that I think I can see in the reference. I cannot show it on stream, unfortunately. Can I see the back, please? There's no booty shot. Everything's being shot from the front. Unbelievable. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's transparent. Okay. That's not what I wanted. Oh, there's one. No, we actually don't have to. Well, we can add those. I think it'll just add a little bit more interesting stuff here. So what I want to do here is basically create two cuts that bring this piece a little bit closer together, like this. They're really just only there to tighten up this the shape. They're being used, for example, in suits, for example, in the back, like this. Doesn't really need to be more. There you go. Look at it. Beautiful. Okay. One thing that I'm kind of seeing right now is that this looks very, very wide now. Maybe we can remove some geometry here. It's very, very thick now. It's supposed to be quite thick leather. Of course, you're supposed to be in battle, but it's also supposed to be sort of light armor. And I think overall the leather thickness was just a little bit too much. So removing some of it should help with that. Especially where it transitions to the second layer. It's like super, super wide. I think that's probably enough. It's quite thick here as well. Get rid of it. We don't need you. There you go. Shave it down. Okay. This is quite wide here. We could also use the pinch brush to make it thinner, but the grab brush works quite well here as well. I don't need to really do too much here on the edges because we're going to use the fill brush for it. Okay, I think this looks pretty good. Let's go to here. We have a few more pieces that we need to sort of refine, and then we can go into the actual refining of all the pieces. So for this one, it seems like there's this sort of rope going, or this sort of band going around and basically ending this piece here. Unfortunately, there's no side, like there, you can't see the back. But let's sort of detail out the ribbon first. There you go. That's probably too low. We need to go, I mean, too high. We need to go lower. The very, very slight outline of the band is still here, or the ribbon. There you go. Perfect. The most normal cloth I saw in my life. You mean the one that we're sculpting here right now? These thick leather pieces. Basically hide, animal hide. There you go. Maybe we can remove some of it here. At the end, it might be the case that we sort of poke through the skin. In that case, we can just pull it out a little bit. But in the beginning, we can at least, you know, remove some volume here to make it easier. And more, you know, to refine it. Okay. So for this one, here we need to probably do some more work. Let me see the body, otherwise it's hard to kind of gauge how deep we need to go. Okay, we need to remove a lot of volume here. The guy in the photo, but he has a reference, so you know. You mean, oh yeah. Finally, you're gonna go to vacation. So the plan is probably to take vacation like a week or two, probably in 1 or 2 weeks. I have one project that basically only I can do at work currently. There's another person that can do it, but they haven't done it for a while now. So I am gonna finish that one, and then I probably have time to take vacation, like take you know, my free time, my vacation days. I still have 33 days, so took some from last year over to this year. I think I used a week in the beginning of the year, and now I still have 33 days, according to the program at least. I don't know if that's true, but according to the program, that we, you know, can see our vacation stuff. You can see here how it's poking through, so we have to push it out a little bit. So yeah, I need to take my vacation at some point. I at least need to take, I need to take at least, what was it, 2 weeks this year, so that I can, basically, so we are allowed to take basically all the vacation from the previous year into the next year. But we are not allowed to basically take the year before the previous year over to the next year. So because I usually, or my contract says that I have 24 days, vacation days every year, and I still have 33. I could take 24 over to the next year, but that would mean that I would have to take at least 2 weeks to basically like get rid of 9 days. So I'll probably just, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, bank on that. I probably will, you know, take more vacation over the like Christmas and New Year, but it's just a funny thought, basically. Not taking any vacation days from this year. Okay, push it up, get rid of it. Of course, the good thing is with the crease brush can be very useful when you try to remove some geometry. It might not be the best to do it, but if you want to just dig a deep hole, then the crease brush is actually a very, very good option for that. So if you ever run into that problem, you need to dig a deep hole into a sculpt, then maybe you can consider the crease brush. Okay, there you go. So for this, we probably can remove some more. I actually want to separate the piece again so I can see inside. If you want to basically only focus on one object in the scene, what you can do is you can press the slash button or divide button on your numpad, if you have a numpad of course, and that way you can that focuses that hides everything except for the object that you currently have selected. Quite useful, especially for sculpting. There you go. Just trying to remove the geometry, the excessive geometry that we don't need. And then we can continue detailing the pants. To be honest, I don't really think about vacation. As I said before, I'm someone that kind of likes having a routine. And vacations are not really part of the routine, so I don't really think about them that much. Maybe when I'm in stress, when I have like stressful work days, then I maybe think, well, I could use some time off now. But usually I don't really think about it at all. So that's why I don't really take vacation. That's why I don't take time off that often. That's why I pile them up more and more and more, because I don't really. So first of all, I have this sort of mentality. I don't know why, but every time I see, I don't like my I don't like for my sort of possession to reach 0. I don't know why, but that is just something that I don't like. So either whether it's the bank account or my vacation, I guess account, how many vacation days I still have, I don't like it to reach 0. So I usually always take at least 1 day over with me. I think the minimum that I ever took over was 5 days or so. And so I always have leftover days from last year. And I think it just piled up more and more and more over the few years that I now work there. And yeah, it's not really something that I think about. So it just, piling up more and more and more. The best vacation is when you stole a bank and now you have a vacation for 10 years. I don't know if you could really enjoy that vacation, the vacation then. I think you would worry quite a lot that you're gonna get caught. Exactly, with an entirely new family, with an entirely new name, with an entirely new house, entirely new friends. Vacation in a new life. Well, it's not really a vacation because you have to stay there. New tattoos, new hairstyle. Nope, I do not have tattoos. I will probably never get one. I like the aesthetics, but I don't like the permanency and basically the fact that you basically damage your skin. So I'm never gonna get a real tattoo. Or at least, I don't think so. I don't know what I'm gonna be like in 10 years, but you know, I don't plan on getting a tattoo. I thought about using either a tattoo pen that's like a pen, it's like an what do you call it? A permanent marker, but basically for tattoos that holds a little bit longer on your skin, kind of, you know, as a replacement, which of course you can then, you know, get your own tattoos for like 2 weeks and then you just rinse it off, which sounds pretty cool. But I never really had the desire to get a real tattoo, except for the aesthetic part. But then I always think about, well, you know, it costs quite a lot and you kind of damage your skin and yeah, I don't know. And if I would ever really get one, I would probably be like a very, very small one. I wouldn't really like get a sleeve or whatever. But I think that's something you kind of grow into. I think your first tattoo will most likely be a small one, and then you know, make them bigger and bigger and bigger until you get like a back tattoo or like a sleeve or whatever. I don't think you're going to start with that. Some people probably did, but you know. Really, I can't put tattoos on my skin. I have religion. Yes, you have a point. Imagine when you're old and your skin is so bad and you see the tattoo of a tiger. And now it looks like a potato. Yeah, the colors are washed out and all this stuff. I don't know. And the biggest problem is, it's not really that it looks worn out, but more that I maybe at some point will not enjoy the tattoo anymore. That it's going to be like a fleeting, like a short-lived interest in some sort of thing, for example, like, oh, well, I'm going to get a tattoo of Super Mario. But then I don't like Super Mario anymore, and then it's like, well, now I have this tattoo forever. You can, of course, remove it, but it costs even more money then, you know. Why would you do that? Okay. So we have the bottom part as well, and then we basically refined everything. Then we can go into some more detail. For example, the ribbon is right now basically just a second, like another part of the pants, but what it actually is more something wrapped around the pants. So we need to sculpt it as if the cloth or the leather around the ribbon gets pushed in a little bit. So we have to create some nice wrinkles there. Let's begin here first. We're gonna do the thighs first. We probably also need to reduce the thickness for the ribbon. Yeah, if I would ever get a tattoo, it would be something very, very simple, like a good-looking, I don't know, arrow. That sounds kind of weird, but like a you know, like a something simple. Not really like a cartoon character or something. Nothing like that. I don't have the desire to put something like that on my skin. Okay, so good thing is this piece right here isn't really that important, just because we will put a piece of like a knee protection on top of it, so we don't really see this. We're gonna see the back, but we're not gonna see the front. So the front we don't really, you know, need to put that much effort into. We're just gonna sculpt it like this. One thing that I need to look into though is the hold on, I need to make this steeper. There you go. One thing we need to look into is the thickness. I want to bring the leg back in so we can see how thick the cloth is now. Let's do that now. Oh, there you go. Let me save real quick. There you go. You can see how thick it is. See how thick everything is? We need to make it way, way, way slimmer. So how about we begin here? There you go, that's way better. Oh, do you hear it? Do you hear the compilation music? Din, 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 din. Oh, we still need to do the, what are they called? The arm pads, arm braces as well. Okay, let's make this a little bit thinner. You can see how thick it is. Okay, I'm gonna see you. Credo sin importancia. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you will pass the test. I wish you all the best. And good luck. Thank you for joining and chatting. Okay. Smooth it out. There you go. Okay. So I think it's still too thick. We can also just use the grab brush, of course, to push it in some more. But I actually don't want to push it into the skin, although that would probably not make a big difference, so who cares? Although we currently, you know, we have to look out that we don't go too low here, where you have the seam, basically. But it looks pretty good so far. One big thing that I mentioned for the boots is that the base meshes look very, very big, very bulky, just because it's it is, you know, we don't have really good enough geometry to, or resolution to make thin cloth. Is the character retopologized? We retopologized the character last week. We began retopologizing the character on Thursday. I finished the retopology of the character over the weekend. So the character is retopologized, and the plan is to finish the first layer of clothing this week, so that we can then that I can retopologize them either over the weekend or next week, so that we can then post the character with the first layer of clothing and also the character itself. That's going to be the plan. And then once we have the character posed, we can add the second layer of clothing, basically everything that is asymmetrical, like the cape, the weapon, or yeah, everything like that. go. Even just removing some of the inherent thickness can refine this piece here. So, I don't think I need to bake textures. Maybe we can try and work with a combination of procedural and like photo textures, image textures, to create the final look. I don't know if I want to color the although yeah, I think we're gonna color the sculpt in the end. I think that'll just look better in the end. But yeah, we will use textures in the end. I don't think we need to bake textures though. Well, oh, you mean for the smaller details? Yeah, I think I thought about that. I wanted to look into that more. I think it's a pretty simple process. I tried it before where it didn't work. So I'm probably gonna try it when we retopologized the clothing to see if it works. And then we'll decide if we use it. If not, then, you know, we still have multi-resolution. Yeah. I kind of misunderstood what you mean. I thought you meant like image or like colors, baking colors, but you meant the geometry. Okay, that's better now. Let's go to the rest. This one single piece down here. I think it actually needs to be two pieces. Let's see. You can see this sort of downwards, forward going downwards, like cloth here is then covered by another sort of, what do you call it? Like a knee brace? No, not knee brace. I don't know what you want to call that. But we need to add another piece on top in the end. Actually, no, we don't even need to add a seam because it's lying on top of the other one. So we just have to go in here and create the first piece, and then we can create the last piece. To finish the one piece. I'm sorry. Okay. So there might have been a better way to do this. The alternative would have probably been to only smooth, basically create the very base sculpt of pants and then basically use masks to draw out the different pieces and then just use the inflate function to basically shape and pull out the geometry for the different pieces. But we're now too deep into it to really do that now. So we just have to work with what we get. That's something for the next piece, for the next sculpt. So the cloth brush can be very useful in certain areas. I haven't used it, I haven't experimented with it enough to really understand it. So far, in my opinion, it's more for, it's very niche in its use, of course, because it's, you know, a simple cloth simulation, but it can be quite useful when you want to add just a little bit more result or a little bit more detail to a model, for example, like a piece of like a pillow, for example, or stuff like that. Even clothing for a character. You can also use mask with it very well, which can lead to some good looking results. But I haven't really done it myself yet. And it's actually pretty fun to work with. How you can manipulate gravity and all that stuff. There you go. Good thing about this low resolution sculpt is that it is very easy to change the volume. It can be a little bit harder if you use more resolution. As you can see here, even just smoothing can change low resolution scopes a lot. And if you compare that to high resolution, it takes a little bit longer. So we're almost through with the basic refinement. Afterwards we can go into even more refinement. Trying to get this pretty close to the skin, because it's supposed to be quite close to the skin, because it's light armor. I think that looks pretty good. We can now add the last layer. You can see it's already poking through the skin or going underneath the skin. We want to avoid that, because it's not supposed to be, isn't supposed to have negative thickness. Okay, so let me save real quick. There you go. The next step will be to add resolution. I mean, not to add resolution, to add the last layer that you can see here. The sort of leg brace here. That is actually starting somewhere over here. I think it is here. It goes almost to the knee. And it probably begins right there. Let me actually draw it out with a mask. So I can show you the technique that I meant when I said what we basically can't do anymore because we were too far into it. The thing about the brace is though that it actually doesn't wrap around the entire thigh. It actually just wraps around, or calf. It just goes to the back, and then I think it's connected with what are they called? Some sort of bands, basically. Oh, we need some more resolution there. Annoying. There you go. Okay, The good thing is if we use the cloth, I mean the the mask brush first, we can draw out the shape first before we actually commit to sculpting the shape, which of course is easier to do than, or it's easier to revert the changes and change the shape compared to doing it immediately. You can actually see, or you can't, but in the original concept art, the legs actually look different than what you can see in the in-game model. But we're going to go with the in-game model. There you go. And then we go down all the way to the end. Once we've filled the mask, we can inflate it, and then we have the next layer. We can very, very easily determine how thick it's supposed to be. I wonder if there's a function that lets you draw basically a shape with a mask, and then you can say that it's supposed to fill the shape. I wonder if that works. Making sure that we're not going to select the bottom piece here. I'm going to remove this. Otherwise it's going to grow out of the edge very weirdly. I want to avoid that. We get some weird deformations here. There you go. Okay, perfect. Let's use the inflate brush. First of all, I'm going to invert it. I want to remove the sort of transition here. Oh. Or at least smooth it. There you go. Perfect. Oh, that's quite deep. Okay. So, where's my inflate brush? There it is. And we pull it out. Hold on, let me just go somewhere over here so I can see the thickness. That's probably enough. And there you go. We have some nice. We have another level. Very easy, very simple. Oh, let me save real quick so we don't lose 50 minutes of work. Okay, and it also has sharp edges. Perfect. We're gonna refine them later. Okay, perfect. Look at that. So now that we've refined the overall different, I guess, sewing pattern pieces, we can now go ahead and refine the seams and edges. So the next step would be to get it closer to what you can see here. Basically a sort of two bumps that then go into the crease. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm just going to show what I mean. Oh. So how do seams, or why do we have seams? So seams are basically just two pieces coming together, two different pieces of cloth, fabric, or whatever. And then you use a string to connect them together like this. To make it easier with very hard, like fabric, for example, or with very hard materials, to being able to, so you can sew them together with a piece of cloth. sometimes you bend them a little bit upwards so that you have an easier time going from one to the other. That's what you can see here. You can see the seam line, even the thread going through the material. And by bending it a little bit and getting these bumps here, you can make it easier on yourself to get the thread to the other side. So what I want to do first here is I want to go in here and refine the seams, and then we're going to go ahead and add these bumps. How do we refine the seams? Pretty simple. We use the fill brush. The fill brush, you ask? Yep. The fill brush has a pretty cool function, especially if we... Actually, do we need more geometry? Let's see. Oh, wrong function. You can see how it sharpens the edge. That's basically what we want to do here. I just want to bring the edge closer together. See how it sharpens it? Very simple, very easy. It's not only good to fill the seams with geometry like this. You can also use it to sharpen edges. So we just go around and do this. I don't want to add more detail because the pans already have quite a lot of geometry. And I don't think we need more, so... And once we've refined these edges, we can go ahead and add the bumps. And then we can not only refine them by refining the top edge, we can also go in here, down here, and if we use the control, if we press control, we basically use the scrape brush that is enabled when you tick this box, invert to scrape. So if you invert the brush, which then uses scrape, you can do this. You can sharpen this edge here as well. Like this. See how it works? Easy peasy. Very, very, very useful for stuff like hard surface modeling, sculpting, whatever. Oh, that's too deep. But you can see how it works. Pretty simple, pretty easy, and pretty effective. I never really used these tools before until I watched a hard surface sculpting tutorial, or like guide, I guess. And I learned the power of these tools. It's pretty crazy what you can do with them. You can even change the, you could even make those like a tool to create different layers. So you can go in here and change the plane offset. If you set that, for example, to 0.1, then it digs into the geometry, but only to a certain degree. So if you do this, you can see, well, it actually digs quite deep. I think we need to make this a little bit smaller here. What about 0.1? Oh, because accumulate is on, right? Is accumulate on? Maybe not. No. Okay, well, maybe I don't understand it fully, but it's really, it can create different layers. with, yeah, you can definitely create different layers with the scrape and fill brush as well. Okay. To be honest, I don't think we need to do it too much because it's supposed to be leather. So maybe some areas here, for example, we can do it a little bit more just because we, the seams are quite far apart. So pushing them together a little bit can probably help. But overall, it's supposed to be leather, so leather isn't really like, it doesn't have sharp edges. So we don't need to do it too much. There you go. Yeah, I felt the same. Once I like, I just saw how somebody was just like perfectly creating these super sharp edges, and I was like, wait, what? How do you do that? He doesn't use the crease brush, so how does he do it? And I would have never thought about this, and it's so useful. It maybe sometimes adds a little bit more thickness to everything, but you can also sometimes remove it using the scrape brush. Or you can just smooth it out. Okay. So I think the other seams look okay. One thing that I want to change here is probably I want to add the bumps now. The bumps should be pretty simple. We can just use either the draw brush actually, or we can use the crease brush. Let's use the draw brush first. I want to see what that looks like, because the draw brush has a round topping or a round fall off, so we can create these nice round, yeah, these nice round bumps. We can also make these seams, like push them closer together by using the, what are they called? Pinch brush. You can also use the pinch brush to make edges sharper. If you go between or into an edge, and then you use the pinch brush, you can see you could pinch the edge together and then it gets sharper as well. The problem is, of course, if there's anything around, like the other side of the seam, then it can happen that you push the other side of the geometry together as well. So usually you would use the pinch brush for something like this. See how you can bring these closer together? That's usually what you use those for. What you use the pinch brush for. There you go. There's actually one seam that we haven't really detailed yet. It's this one. Or at least it's not big enough, not deep enough. There you go. Okay. Do we need to pinch some more here? I think we're good. Maybe here a little bit. There's another tool that I tried for sharp corners or sharp edges, which is this multi-plane scrape, but I just couldn't really use it. It wasn't really that useful, at least for me. I didn't really understand it that well. I think using the fill and scrape tools, it's just easier to create very sharp edges. We might even use a different sort of seam for this piece here. We'll see. Okay. Let's create the bumps now. The bumps pretty simple, of course. So how about we do that now? Hold on, there it is. So it actually seems like there's another second layer on this crotch piece. You can see it's split up into two pieces. There's a smaller one in the middle. So how about we add that as well? Shouldn't be too hard. We just go in here and add another layer on top. Maybe we can even do it like this. Like this. Just like another layer on top. There you go. We invert it. And then we pull it out. Quite laggy because of all the geometry. Perfect. There it is. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and draw the bumps. We could use curves, but I think it's easier to just draw them. Yeah. What we could use though is the... what is it called again? Smooth brush. Stabilized stroke, there it is. What it does is basically you draw, or you pull your brush. It has like a delay, which lets you create smoother brush strokes. We can probably use that for these small bumps here, so we can control them a little bit better. See, we can make these small adjustments without adding more or without continuing the brush, which is very handy. So we can also change some things here for the, what is it, stabilized stroke. We can change the radius, the factor, but I think the standard is already pretty good. We only really need these bumps where we connect two big pieces together. Like this. And even just that small detail can add a lot to the sculpt. And then we can use the scrape brush to sort of imitate the thread that would be in these bumps. By just making it a little bit sharper. We're probably not going to add the scrape, the bump. I mean the thread, but we can at least imitate it. here. There's one more where we need to do it. I think we're going to use two different seams here in this sculpt. We're going to use the bumpy seam, and then there's another one which is commonly used in jeans, for example, where you basically put the two pieces of cloth on top of each other, and then you go through both. So you basically combine them by layering them and then connecting them at that point. There you go. Okay. I think it's too wide. Let me pull that together a little bit. Pinch it. It's a little bit too thick. There you go. Okay. Does that look too big? Maybe we can pinch it together a little bit. Make it less bulky. There you go. Oh, we need to do it for the panties as well. There you go. Okay. Perfect. So the next seam, let's just look at some references so I can show what I mean with layering and then connecting them at where they overlap. Hold on, let me look for jeans. Let's see if we can find jeans seam. Oh, there it is. That's what I mean. This sort of seam. You take the two pieces of fabric and then you layer them on top of each other, and then you use thread to connect them basically. For the other one, you put them next to each other and you connect them. For this one, you put them on top of each other. You can see it here very easily. That's what we want to do for the layered pieces of cloth. So how do we do that? We just create basically some smaller creases. Let me show you what I mean. Oh. Yeah, we just go in here. There's actually one thing that I want to try, which is, what if we go in here and use the crease brush with quite a lot of strength? Full strength maybe even. There you go. And then we increase the dash. We use the stroke method space. So basically it applies the brush every time you reach a certain length of brush stroke. You can see if I don't move my brush, even if I apply it, it doesn't work. Or it does work, but if I continue, you see you add more and more and more in certain like frames, you could say. You can also increase the spacing between the application of the brush. So if we set this to 100, you can see what happens. It spaces out more, and this is what happens. And that's what we can use for seams. It's not really drawn out, unfortunately, but we can, I think, still make it work. So we're going to make the brush quite small, and then we just go in here and do this. Oh, maybe it's too small. We can maybe use what is it? Relative detail. Set it to 4 maybe, and then we do this. Maybe 4 is too little. I mean, the detail will probably not be visible in the end, but I at least want to try it. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. If we make another layer of it underneath, like a second row. It looks similar to jeans. But to be honest, I don't think we need that. No. I think it's lagging. Yeah, it is. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we don't need to do that. Maybe for these here, let's see what that looks like. No, I don't think we need to. That's too small. Okay. But we still need to actually, yeah, we can still do it here. We don't need to use like such a small amount of resolution, but we can at least create the imitation of those seams by just creating lines, basically. I'm going to show you what I mean. Basically going in here and doing this. Nope, I need to increase the spacing again so it's a continuous line. And then we can draw it out. Like this. Might be a little bit too small. There you go. You gotta go? Okay. Thank you. Yeah, still working on the armor a little bit. Will probably take a while still, but yeah, it's coming together pretty well, I think. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for being here. I think before we go into these very, very small details, I want to work some more on the overarching flow of everything. What I mean is basically the rope that is kind of around. Actually, no, we don't need to. I think it's okay if the rope looks like this. Because it's leather, so it doesn't really deform like any simple cloth. It doesn't make these small ripples. It just kind of, you know, stays the other way and just kind of gets pushed down. I don't think we need to really change that much more about it. What we could do though is we could maybe remove the hard edge here. Just kind of smooth it out so it kind of looks like it's been pushed down instead of just being cut apart. Does that look good? I think we can work with that. There you go. Oh. Okay. I wouldn't say I would make what is it? Streaming at one time? I mean a full-time thing. I would say I want to make content creation a full-time thing. I don't think I only want to stream. I want to use the stream footage for videos that I put on the video channel. I like the combination of streaming and editing videos. So I think I wouldn't consider what I do live streaming. Well, it's live streaming, but to include everything that I want to do, it's more content creation, I guess. Yeah, that would be the optimal plan. But of course, we'll see how it turns out. I'm not expecting anything. I'm just doing it every day and then, you know, trying to improve every day and see how it turns out. Okay, and that looks better. It looks like the ribbon is a little bit, how do you call it? Like thinner. Such a simple word, said yet so hard to remember for my smooth brain. There you go. Yeah, so I talked about that before, but you know, it's been a while. If I think about what I've done in my life, I've always been someone that is creative. I've always been someone that likes drawing or yet now sculpting, like creating stuff. And what I've learned throughout my life, I started basically, I actually had 2 previous YouTube channels when I was younger, just, you know, out of fun, I guess. You know, just kind of mess around. Oh, hold on. So I kind of already knew before I went into my current like work, when I had my apprenticeship, I already sort of knew how to use Premiere Pro, at least in a very rudimentary, basic sense. So I, from like early on, I kind of knew how to edit videos, at least very basic stuff. And then I went into my apprenticeship. I learned, what was it? Basically graphic design. And I did that for 3 years. So I learned graphic design. So I didn't only learn 2D, I also learned, because nobody was basically able to do it. At some point, somebody came to us and asked if we could edit a video for the client. I said like, well, I have some experience in Premiere Pro, so I edited the video, and then more and more people came to me with some video projects, you know, asked, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And because the difficulty, let's say, of those tasks increased basically like from time to time, and we had another person that was capable of animations. We already had like a small background, let's say, in animations. I was able to develop my skills more, and now it's basically the case that I am the video person at work. The other person that did or does animations hasn't really done it for a while, because I took all the jobs basically when it comes to video and animations. And so I'm basically the person that does all that now. So all I ever did basically in my life, or what I learned outside of school, of course, has always been about creativity, either creating 2D graphics, or creating 3D graphics, as well as editing videos, or not really recording, but at least, you know, editing videos. And all of those skills sort of neatly merge together into like streaming and editing or creating YouTube videos, which also makes fun, you know. So if that turns out to be what I can do full time at some point, that would be pretty cool. There you go. Oh, this looks kind of weird. I want to pull this out some more, make it thinner. I also like to, I enjoy helping people, and in a sense where I can share, or I enjoy helping people and understand the thing that I am passionate about. That's why I like to make, like, for example, tutorials for Blender. It's not like the most fun thing that I can do in Blender, but it's one of the fun things. And that's why, yeah, I do stuff like tutorials, for example. There you go. Yeah, we could maybe add a few smaller details. Let me see if I can find leather armor so we can get a better reference. Because I want to see how it behaves. If there are any big folds, for example. Of course, these pieces are quite big, and quite sturdy, quite resilient to bending, to bendage. So I don't know if we need to add any folds. I don't think so. I think it looks better if we have something like this. What we can do though is we can go to the ribbon and we can give it some more, maybe some smaller wrinkles. Okay. Maybe we can go in here a little bit more. There you go. Okay. Let's go in here and what was the plan? I already forgot. Hold on. Oh yeah, we wanted to add some more wrinkles to this ribbon. Let me see if I can find some references for that. Let me go to ArtStation. Looking for some leather armor references and see if I can find some sort of cloth being wrapped around it. Or let's see, maybe we can find cloth armor. I don't know if we can find good references there. Oh, there's one thing where we can add a few wrinkles maybe, and that is here on the other side of this. Usually, especially if you have hard surfaces or hard fabrics, because they're so hard, they resist bending a lot, but once you bend them for quite a while, or once you use them for quite a while, you can see that they kind of keep a certain crease inherently. You can see that especially for stuff like sneakers, like leather sneakers, at the tip, where you're, like the tip of your foot or the tip of your shoe, where the toes are, you always roll it off like this, and then you create this inherent or this natural sort of crease in here on the leather that you can even see even if it's stretched out. And that's something we can probably add to the legs here, in the back. I don't know why it's so hard for me to speak right now. Let me see if I can find a good reference for that. Oh, what was I looking up for? What, it was called Mass Effect Andromeda. suit. You can see some good references for wrinkles in there. Hold on, where is it? Oh, this one's pretty good. You can see it here. You can see these small wrinkles being created by some seams that kind of pull together the cloth. I don't think that this is as thick as the armor that we have. So we don't need to add stuff like this. But maybe if we can find another suit that I was looking for. We looked at it before. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe this one? No, this one doesn't really show any wrinkles, does it? A little bit. It's not that visible though. There's a like indoor suit that I'm looking for. This one looks pretty similar. You can, oh, there it is. That's perfect. You can see the wrinkles here in the back, right there. Do you see them? Do you see them? I want to add those. Yeah, they're just there because you crunch together this part of the legs so much that it just kind of burns into the fabric at some point. It's the same with stuff like up here for the armpits. So yeah, let's add those. Let me just download this real quick. There it is. Okay, let's actually add that to the Blender scene so you can see it as well. Wait, there you go. Okay. Wrinkles are pretty easy to add. We just use the crease brush. We can maybe even remove dynamic topology because we already have good topology. We now just have to displace it. And with if we disable dynamic topology, it's a little bit smoother to work with. See how fast it is now? So the wrinkles all have a certain nature to them. They have a starting point and they have a like an end point. The starting point is very, very thin and sharp. You can see it right here in this one, and then it basically smooths out as like the further it goes out. Maybe there are even two different wrinkles. There are probably more. I just see two right now. This one is sharper in the middle than on the outside. Let's just kind of imitate what we see here. So the first one is probably, let's add one up here. Oh, we need to probably decrease the strength a little bit. There you go, sharp in the middle, I mean in the beginning, and then kind of smoothing out in the back. We can also combine, I guess, additive and subtractive creases to create some more ripples here to make them give it some more depth, basically. Like this. I think they're too defined right now. I think it looks better than before. We just need to refine it a little bit more here. Okay, we can probably do the same for the crotch as well. I think that's okay. Maybe we can go a little bit over these seams to make it more part of the entire piece, rather than just this one sort of piece of cloth. Or not cloth, why do I always say cloth? This is the one layer. Okay. I think that's okay. Probably not perfect, but it's better than nothing. And then we have this middle piece here. Do we have good references for that as well here? I don't think so. This one is actually like mechanical. So we need to find better references. Hold on, let me see if I can find something real quick. Oh, that's the one that I was looking for. But it's not the full suit. Dude, why? Mass Effect Andromeda suit. Indoor? What about bodysuit? I don't know, dude. What was I looking for? Nope. Mod list? I'm not looking for mods. Oh, there it is. No. What about indoor suit? Maybe not suit. Is there another name for this sort of piece of clothing? It's a suit, isn't it? Well, suit could mean multiple things, but you know. Well, we have another reference piece actually. It might not be perfect, but I think it works better than nothing. We have the cosplay of the exact character. Let me see if I have a good reference for the legs. There it is. Oh, hello. There it is. Look at it. You can see it right here. There are some creases going out. It's hard to see. It's hard to see, and it's also very, very soft material. So the creases are very different compared to something like this. Let me see if I can find something better. Hard to find. What about, dude, this music is something. Okay. No, this one I already heard like a million times. Hold on. Oh, there you go. Leather armor. Let me see if I can find something good here. Wait, what about the reference that I have here? Hold on. I have more than just one reference. There it is. Ah, perfect. That's the one from the thumbnail. Perfect reference. You can see, because you basically move your legs up and down, you have these. Why do I point at the screen? You have these wrinkles that get created because you crunch the crotch fabric and the leg fabric together. We can probably use some of those here. Not too crazy, just a little bit to kind of bring in some deformations. See, it just adds a little bit more magic to it. It's hard to go in between the legs, but we can try. At least a little bit. Yeah. You can see they all fan out from the crotch area. So that's what you have to keep in mind as the structure. There you go, smooth it out, and that should be enough. It's quite hard, strong material, so it doesn't need to be super defined. There you go. I think that helps. Maybe it's too strong. There you go. That's probably better. Let's see if we can see something in the back. Well, we don't have something for the back. So, well, we have something for the knee. I mean, for the, well, knee side, the opposite side. I don't know what you would call that. Let's see if we can find a good butt reference. Let's see. You know, it's hard to find good references for the back because usually you wouldn't show your character from the back, so it's not really something you would focus on. Oh, this one? Nope. What about leather pants? What about looking that up? Pants? Let's see. Oh, no. This one could be useful. Hold on. If I can't find anything better, we can probably use that. I think that, yeah, I think that's pretty good. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Gonna bring it back into Blender so you can see it as well. Where is it? There it is. You can see it right here. They're sort of going out and downwards. Because, I guess, because if you move your legs backwards, you create some seams that go out from here. Oh. And downwards, like this. Following the butt shape a little bit. Okay. I think that can help. It's maybe too strong here. There you go. There you go. I think that's pretty good. I don't want to make it too soft, you know. Just a little bit here and there. Probably removing symmetry could help as well. Although I don't want to do that, to be honest. I think that's enough. Yeah, those are the pants. We don't really need to do more. I think they're good. Let's bring it back to, like, bring everything back. So we have the chest piece and we have the pants. The next step would be the boots. So how about we go into those now? We have some more time to work on those. And then tomorrow we will focus on the boots. Probably the sort of undergarment and then the gloves. Okay. There they are. Ugly boots. Let's see. Where's my reference? There it is. Okay. Let's focus on those. So let's sort of refine the overall shape first. Maybe for this one we can even use detail flood fill just to kind of give everything some more geometry. And this is not like a huge model, so it shouldn't add too much geometry to this. Maybe double, of course, more than double. Oh, it already... Oh, we need to apply the modifier first. Otherwise we destroy the model. Apply, there you go. Back to sculpting. And apply 50 resolution. To be honest, I want to try something. What about going to 35? I want to see what that looks like. Maybe we don't even need 50. Maybe we only need 50 for smaller details. Yeah, 35 maybe already more than enough. Why do we see the toes through the boot? Oh no. There you go. Oh, I need to add some thickness to this first before we can continue. We can see there's no thickness yet. I didn't add the solidify modifier yet, so we just have a 2D plane basically. So how about we add some geometry? Give it some thickness. Let's see how much we need. That's probably enough. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, let's go back to sculpting. So, okay. We can probably push it more over here first of all. There you go. Just to kind of make the boot overall a little bit slimmer. Perfect. And then First of all, let's refine the shape overall a little bit. Still looks very clunky. Very clown-like. We also need to add the overhang later. We might do that as a secondary or as a separate mesh though. I don't know if we need to do that as a... we don't need to add it to the scope. That could just make everything more complicated. More complicated than it needs to be. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna make the edges here a little bit sharper. Perfect. Smooth it out. And then we can work on the shape. I mean, the smaller details. Like the different pieces of fabric, basically. Now we can actually use the other technique that I mentioned, where we draw out the shape and then just extrude it, or like pull it out, inflate it. Let me just work on the basic layout first. Create the first seam here, so we can shape it a little bit better. There you go. Perfect. We go all the way up again. We might even disconnect the top half from the bottom half. We'll see. Okay. So it definitely looks better than before, but it's not done yet. So let's refine it a little bit. Overall, I'm just trying to, overall, just how we did it for the pants, I want to go ahead and give these very, very bulky, very, very big, broad base meshes, you could say, a little bit more like a clearer silhouette, and reduce the bulkiness and how would you describe it? You would shape it a little bit more to the original or the reference. There you go. Rounding off the bottom can probably help a lot with the overall look of it. We will add a sole separate from this model. We're going to add a second layer, I guess, at like below, This will not be part of the shoe model, you could say. It'll be, you know, below that. So we don't need to care about the second layer, basically. But I want to round it off here a little bit. There you go. Might still be too big, so I can probably smooth it off a little bit more here. The foot is already coming through. Push it more to the side here. Okay, perfect. Give it more this foot shape. Who would have thought shoes have the same shape as feet? There you go. Okay. Let me just quickly sit down again. I'm standing for quite a while now. It's also time to drink something. We haven't been drinking, or I haven't been drinking for quite a while. Okay. It is time to continue. So, I think the general shape goes in the right direction. There are a few things that we need to change though. First things first, we probably need to pull... We need to pull this back a little bit, the seam. We can probably just redraw the seam, to be honest. It needs to wrap more around the foot. I think it actually needs to be further forward, and then we need to pull the geometry here in the middle a little bit further forward as well, more like this, and then it needs to be higher here as well. I think it's too flat right now. There you go. Yeah, that definitely helped. I'm not a shoe expert, so I need to really rely on the reference that we have. Let me see if the other references that we had here can help. What about the full body reference here? No, not really. I think let's focus on the different layers. Maybe that helps make it look more like a shoe. Oh, I should have probably back up the boots. Well, I can probably just save it as a new file, and then I still have the old file. Wait, where's my reference? There it is. Okay. Yeah, oh, I saved it. Well, now it's over. Okay. I missed my chance. Okay, so let's create the different layers first. So you can see we have a heel layer in the back. Let's add that one first. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Oh, hello. Okay. Creating the mask for the entire layer, and then we can just pull it out like the last layer that we added to the pants. There you go. Inflate. Where's my inflation? Maybe because it doesn't have a sole, it looks kind of weird. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. There you go. That's the first part. Then we have the front piece. Okay. Looks like it's going like this around the front. Maybe the feet, the shoes are too long. We'll see though. Maybe we can make them a little bit shorter. I don't know when the toes begin. We need to check that out. Maybe the feet overall are a little bit too long. There you go. Finish the mask. Right there. Hold on. Perfect. They follow the shape of the other, basically, sort of layer. There you go. Refine the mask, and then we can inflate it. You know what? We could actually add the sole to the boot. I think it wouldn't really make a big difference whether or not we have it as one part or we don't have it as one part. So I think we could just add the sole. We can then work on it like immediately. Let me just add a quick seam line here. That could probably help as well with the overall look. To be honest, I think the boots are a little bit too long. Hold on. How far can I push it back? Oh, quite a lot. Okay. That's probably better now. There you go. Okay. It's hard to really see. Let me just let me flatten the bottom of the shoe real quick. Let's add the sole. I want to add the sole. I think that's an important part. So let's create another mask here. There you go. We go all the way around. We don't need to go all the way to the edge. I think having a small distance between the edge and the sole can help create a natural crease, basically. There you go. Go all the way around. And we fill the mask. Where's my inflate? There it is. So this one needs to be quite big, of course. Probably like that. Perfect. Let's refine the edge here. It's quite quite weird currently, to say the least. It's a little bit overhanging because of how we inflated it. So we need to fix the, first of all, the seam, and then also the overhang. There you go, make it nice and smooth. Smooth it up, and then we can go in here without. Looks... Maybe it just looks weird because we haven't added the other, like the flap on the outside yet. That's probably one reason. Not just probably more than that, but it's one of the reasons. Let me see what that looks like if we just add the second layer. I want to see what it looks like. Maybe it adds quite a lot, maybe it doesn't. Oh, wait. Okay, that works, I guess. Wait, what did I do? I wanted to scale it, not hide it. There you go. Oh, we need proportional editing, so we can change these edges a little bit, make them look more organic. There you go. We don't need this face. We can now add a solidify modifier. There you go. And then we need another subdivision modifier, or the first one, so we can smooth out the edge. Perfect. I think we still need to change the overall shape of the boot a little bit. I'm not quite happy with it. Maybe this needs to be higher a little bit. There you go. We definitely need to do some more adjustments. But I think that'll be next time. So today we basically we've refined and finished the pants. We added seams and yeah, basically refined everything. We added some smaller folds to make it look more organic, more realistic. Oh, we can probably adjust that real quick. We can see some skin poking through there. There you go. And we started refining the boots. We definitely need to do some more work on the boots. They're not really perfect yet. Who would have thought? Yeah, so we're going to continue with the boots tomorrow. We're going to finish the boots, probably work on the undergarment a little bit. It's not that complex. We don't really see it that often. So we, you know, we shouldn't really spend that much time on it. The next up would be the gloves and the arm brace. Yeah, we'll probably finish the overall armor hopefully tomorrow. I'll probably work on it on Friday as well, so we can then go into like a new step next week. Tomorrow we will also do a feedback session, personal feedback on the submitted art pieces. If you want to submit your own art pieces and you want to get feedback on your own personal, pieces, as we have done before, you can go and join the Discord and you can submit your art pieces there. So I can tomorrow do the next feedback session. Currently we have one submission. Seems like the previous sessions kind of, sort of covered most of what everybody had like as a backup. So yeah, if you have anything you want to submit yourself, you can type in !Discord to find the link. Actually, no, the link is wrong. But if you if you type !Discord, you should find it. No, you should find the link. So if you need it, I can put it in chat. Yeah, you'll also find some inspiration. Every quick sketch inspiration for the stream you'll find there. You can ask questions and all that stuff, all that good stuff. Tomorrow will be the last stream of this week. We're gonna, finish the boots, go to the rest. Next week, hopefully we can go into either retopologizing the clothing or posing the character, depending on how far we get. Yeah, the character is already retopologized, so we can use him already. We can rig him. But we need to retopologize the clothing still. Oh, we also have the back plate, but the back plate is pretty simple. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed today's stream. Maybe, hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for chatting or just being here. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Maybe I'll see you next time. Until then, take care.